Good afternoon, Anonymous. We're currently at the studio at the Palm Centre. I'm joined by very special guests, Leon from Helena Bay Roastery. Yeah,
Hi.
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's been a while since we spoke, about a year ago.
Can you tell us a bit about Helena Bay Roastery?
Yeah, we've been going for just over 18 months. We like to call ourselves the smallest coffee roastery on the West Coast because we really, from a size perspective, I'm talking footprint, quite small, but we do a lot in that small little area. And we do everything locally. So we roast, we pack, we do coffee tastings, we sell coffee, and we just generally have a great time to connect with people around coffee.
One thing that caught my ears there was the tasting you guys do.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the tasting?
Yeah, so tasting, we take you on the journey from where coffee comes from, how does that affect the flavor of the coffee. We tell you a few stories, a few myths, a bit of science behind it. We give you a lot of tips. We then, depending on the size, we will then have a range of coffees that we'll taste. And then we'll go through actually how to taste coffee, because there's a bit of a science behind tasting, and we've kind of, in our modern diet, have forgotten actually how to taste properly. So we go through that and we try and identify the different flavors, because as you're probably aware, coffee, I like to call it a fruit juice, because it's a bean of a coffee cherry. It comes off a tree, it's like a fruit. So you can get a host of different flavors, which surprises a lot of people, because, I mean, how do you get a blueberry out of the coffee? How do you get a citrus or a lemon or a fynbos or something floral out of coffee? But it's just like a grape. And depending on where the coffee is grown, how it's processed, and of course how it's roasted, you can then extract different flavors from that coffee bean.
And all your coffee beans are locally sourced?
Yeah, so the coffee growing region is really in the tropics. South Africa, we do grow a bit of coffee, particularly in KZN and in Mpumalanga, which is it's a growing industry. But it is generally South America, north of us, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, those countries, and of course in the east. So we have a wholesaler that we purchase from. So we have beans from South America, Africa, and of course we can source up to about 50 different locations of coffee.
Oh, wow.
And each has its own unique processing method, its own flavor profile, which is quite nice. And because we're a relatively small batch roastery, something that if someone wanted a unique flavor or a unique roast, we can give them the availability of the coffee, bring it in, we can roast 3 kilograms of coffee, and that could be theirs.
Sorry.
And that'll be different to anybody else. You can actually say this is Leon's blend, it's mine, no one else has it.
And now your journey in coffee, when did that start? How did it come about?
Really, it was a passion project. I studied originally as a pharmacist. So, I've always been into process, method, quality, manufacturing and all that kind of thing. I was probably the last intake that still learned how to make tablets manually and creams and so on. But then, probably about 10 years ago, I fell in love with coffee and started visiting roasteries, started studying everything I could about coffee, how to roast, where it came from, and kind of just fell in love with it. Then we had the opportunity to move to St. Helena, and I have a belief that every town needs a few shops, so one of them has to be a coffee roastery. You have to be local, and we tried, even with our blends that we have, we tried to support local. So in our endeavors to sell, that's why we call it St. Helena Bay Coffee Roastery, because it's based in this town. We want to advertise this town. Our blends are called the Saint, the Cove, the Lighthouse. So it's something to do with local. People can ask, why do we call it the Cove? Why the Lighthouse? We have stepped out of that with our dark roast, which we call stoop coffee, simply because that's coffee that hopefully will take someone right back to when their grandparents used to drink coffee or roast coffee the old-fashioned way on the stove. And it was obviously, it's a dark roast, so something that kind of reminds you of sitting on your grandparents' stoop and having a coffee and rusk. So we kind of try and cover everyone's palates where we can.
And yourself, what do you prefer? I'm more of a medium roast. I know Glenn likes his coffee as strong as possible.
Yeah, look, you know, strong depends on what you want strong. Is it a strong flavor or strong caffeine? But, you know, the best of both worlds is probably a medium roast, because then you get some of the sweetness, you get some of the acidity and the fruitiness coming out of the coffee, but then you can also pick up the nutty chocolate notes as well. So it's finding that balance, and depending on the beans, some beans you want to do even a light roast. We're fortunate enough to have done some work for Fancourt.
George.
Yeah, Prince George. So we do some gift packs for them, and we've got some exclusive coffee that we roast actually as a light roast, just because it brings out the blueberry and strawberry and the rum and raisin flavors out of the coffee. But then there's some coffee, for example, like Uganda coffee, which is much better as a medium dark, just because it brings out more of the depth and the chocolate notes. So, you know, it depends on the coffee and, of course, what you like. There's not one coffee. Yeah, there's a lot of coffee that I enjoy, a lot of coffee that I don't enjoy. Doesn't make the coffee bad. It just means that that's what my palate enjoys. Yeah.
And if any of our viewers want to get hold of your guys' coffee, are there any shops locally supplying, or is it
Yes.
straight from?
So, of course, from our roastery, if it's not public holidays, we open Tuesday to Saturday, 9 to 1. We also, you know, people say why 9 to 1 and not later? Well, yeah, it's also work-life balance. You know, we're in the West Coast. We also want to enjoy the West Coast with everybody else. And then we do have coffee available at the local spa. So we have all our blends available there. If anyone wants a single origin, which is not a blend, you just want, for example, a Brazil or a Colombia or a decaf, then that's available at the roastery, and we will pack or grind for whichever method of brewing that the customer wants. We'll do it specifically for them.
And what products all do you stock? You got the beans, the crushed as well.
Yeah, so obviously we've had a few requests for green beans. So some of the customers want to maybe roast at home.
Okay.
So if they want to buy, and we can sell that to them. And then we do the beans. We like to keep it in the bean format as long as possible because it stays fresher. But if a customer wants it ground for a plunger or for a filter machine or a mocha pot, we will grind it specifically for that method of brewing for them at no extra cost. So we will do that for them with pleasure.
And if anyone wants to get hold of you guys, you have a Facebook page, website, that type of thing?
Yeah, so we do have a website page. We have Instagram as well, St. Helena Bay Coffee Roastery, very simple. Facebook, St. Helena Bay Coffee Roastery. So it's all available there. So yeah, they can contact us on any one of those pages, or even just pop into the roastery. We love to, connect with people. Coffee is something that you enjoy with somebody else. Yes, you can enjoy it on your own, but for me, coffee is about connection.
100%.
It's about friends and family getting around, having a great time. So invariably, when people come and they want a cappuccino or a cortado or anything, we'll end up chatting for an hour and a half. About coffee and life in general. So that's what coffee does. It's all about connection.
A lot of good conversations around a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Is there anything specific that you would like our viewers to know about the roastery?
Well, I think as any business, it's great if we can get local support. we are here for the community, and whatever we try and do from our printing and where we can, we support local. So it's always great if the local people can support the local businesses. And that's not just the roastery, that's all the local businesses. We can just plow that money back into the community. I think that's really important. We get a lot of good support from people outside of town. We're fortunate in that we've got a number of contracts locally. In Eiselfontein, in Vredenburg, we have a contract in Joburg, we've got in Veldrift. So we're slowly expanding geographically, which is great, but it's always nice to see local people come in. We love to hear their stories, we love to hear, just about St. Helena Bay in general. A lot of people have lived here for decades.
Yeah, there's a lot of history around this.
And it's just, let's sit and have a coffee and let's just chat about it. That's always great.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much for sitting down with us and sharing us a bit about St. Helena Bay Roastery. It's been very informative, very interesting. I can't wait to get down to you guys and have my first cup in the roastery and maybe test out your guys' taste.
Anytime. Put us to the test.
100%.
Great.
Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time.